basically what we can think of this as is, for each letter in the acronym, that represents one sentence in our prompt, right? Pretty simple. So if I wanted to take the example of car, for instance, right? Let's say I want to put together like a bid no bid decision based on capabilities and gaps. So I could say, the context is, hey, you're going to be my federal business development manager. You have years of experience making bid no bid decisions, right, based on capabilities of our company as they relate to the PWS. The action that I want you to take is I want you to review this PWS against my past performance or whatever it might be, and I want you to come back and give me the result I want is a table that gives me the PWS requirement right next to any demonstrated capability, verbatim text from our proposals or whatever it might be. And then some analysis. Is this a capability that's 5 out of 5, right? Or is this kind of a partial capability? Is this a gap for us? And so if we think of it that way, each of these acronyms, kind of one sentence per letter, it helps us kind of have that repeatable system. So I want to walk through a few of these examples here in real time. Now I know everyone likes a little PTO, so I wanted to start off with PTO. I actually just had this thought last night as I was thinking, kind of working through some of these slides. I was like, let's do a fun one. So this is PTO, right? And I really like persona prompts, right? I like using the concept of a persona. Act as a, experienced federal proposal manager. Act as a, procurement official, contracting officer. Review my proposal, whatever it might be. In this case, though, you can see the breakdown, right? Which is, hey, I give it the persona. You're an experienced federal proposal manager. You have deep expertise in analyzing performance work statements and translating those, back into actionable requirements. I want you to carefully read the PWS, right? Extract each requirement. This is the task that I'm giving the AI. Break it down line by line, paragraph by paragraph. Make sure you capture all those individual tasks, obligations. And then finally, the objective, right, the result or the end goal here that I want back is a table. So I say output a table. I clearly want you to list each requirement with the following columns. And then I just tell it the columns. So this is a great example here of a shred prompt, right? We can give it, PWS or a statement of work. And this prompt will go through line by line and just shred all those requirements out into a table for us and, tell it the columns we want, and it'll go ahead and do it. So I love these frameworks because it kind of, makes it a little more science than art, like I said. Couple more examples here, guys, and I won't go through each of these super in depth, right? But core, this is another good framework that I've had some success with, right? Working with some of our customers is, the context. That word context keeps coming up too, and we'll get there. But context is really, really important. As much, kind of background information, especially with some of the new reasoning models that have come out, the more background information we give at a high level, definitely the better. Objective, you keep seeing that one come up too, is, hey, we want to make sure that, the tool knows exactly what we want out of it, what that response is going to look like when it comes back. This is an interesting one too, because you see evaluation. So we can actually tell the tool, hey, make sure that, the result is XYZ. Here's my evaluation criteria. What defines a good result back from the AI? Just tell it that right up front. And then it knows, okay, well, now I need to prioritize these things. So I always find that that's an interesting way to look at it, and sometimes that kind of turns the light on for people too. And then the last one here, of course, similar scope, just kind of explaining the scope of what we want the tool to do. Defining the audience is a great one. So, hey, we're creating this for, this is marketing content. We're creating it for LinkedIn, or this is a proposal, right? We're creating it for, review based on the evaluation criteria. And then examples at the bottom here too, you see that's an interesting one. Initially, in kind of the early days of large language models of AI, examples were really important. And so, we would go through, we would write up a prompt, and then we would put in like an example table, for example, or we would give it like an example paragraph to mirror, to mimic. What we've seen though is as the models get better and better, the results that we get back from the AI are better and better without those examples. So it's interesting. Be cautious with examples, guys, when we're going through. We don't want to give the AI too much of that kind of rigid structure. Hey, follow this example exactly. Because the more we put the AI into a box, again, especially as these models have kind of gotten more advanced and better, almost the less creative the model's able to be and the less human that result's going to feel. So we still want to, walk that tightrope, give the AI a little bit of leeway as far as, how we want it to respond to us. But those examples can definitely be helpful.